In the past, I've done videos on when you should buy a house or when you should sell a house. Today, I'm talking about something totally different. It's why you should rent. Stick around. Hi, welcome back. My name's Joe Brown. I'm a realtor with Century 21, List with Beggins, located in South Tampa. Thank you so much for being here with me today. So, as I said in the introduction, I have done videos, and I'll put links to them here throughout the show, on when you should buy a house or when you should sell a house, even how much should you sell your house for. But let's face it, with the higher inflation and interest rates higher, people are pinched. And there is reason just to rent. Forget buying, just rent. And I want to talk about some of those. Now, let me say at the beginning, as a realtor, I really don't make anything for renters, right? And there is value to home ownership. And I did do a video on what are the benefits of owning a home, and I'll put a link to that here. But let's talk about why some people should just rent. So number one, if you know you're going to be in this area for a short term, under 3 years, then yeah, it makes absolute sense to rent, right? But some of these overlap. But if you're going to be in the area short term, and to me, short term is under 3 years, then it makes sense. Let's just rent and move on. Now, I know some people are going to say 3 years is a long time. That's almost 1,000 days. I want a steady place. And I understand that. The second reason people rent is, let's face it, they don't have the financial means to get a house. I did a video a few weeks ago on how much money do you need to buy a house. And I said, to be safe, a buyer should have about 10% of the purchase price in cash. Now, not that you have to use all that money for down payment, but you are going to have down payment. You're going to have closing costs. Plus, you want extra money for when you move in. Well, you know, the typical home in Hillsborough County is $385,000. So that means a family would need $38,000 in cash, you know, to really feel comfortable. But you don't want to burn all your cash buying a house, then you can't even change a tire if you need to, right? So, and in today's economic times, it's tough for families to save that amount of money. So that's second reason people should rent is financially they just can't. Now, for those of you in that situation that you want to buy a house and you're trying to save, yeah, you do need to work on a budget and stick to the budget so you have those financial goals. The second, a third reason is, let's face it, if you own a home, water heater goes out, you have to fix that. Appliances go out, have to fix that. You have to do the yard. Sometimes irrigation goes wrong, right? So there's maintenance issues with the house. And let's face it, some people just don't want those hassles, right? They just want a place to live. Anything happens, you take care of it, right? And listen, that's neither good or bad. That's a preference that people have. A fourth reason people should rent is it gives flexibility. So I was working with a gentleman who was moving here from Massachusetts. He said, Joe, I want to buy a house. I just don't know where yet. So I'm going to rent for 1 year. And you know what? Great idea. Moves in, rents a place for 1 year, but he gets familiar with the area. Where's his work? What's the drive time? What's the traffic like? Maybe I don't like this area. Maybe I want to move out there and I don't mind the drive, right? So renting gives that flexibility to move to different locations, move closer to work, move farther away from work, right? Move closer to friends or further away from family. Renting gives that flexibility. And another reason that people may want to rent now, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it's a reason that people give, is they are afraid of prices dropping. So I said earlier that the average home price, median home price in Hillsborough County is $385,000. So let's say somebody comes in, buys a house for $385,000, but the value of homes decreases. Now it'll decrease because there's more people wanting to sell their home than there are buyers. That's not the case now. But if home prices start falling, then the homeowner is losing equity. And there are some people that say, I don't want to take the risk. Some people think that home prices now are overvalued and they're waiting for them to come down. And truthfully, they've been waiting for 2 years for home prices to come down. And I don't see that happening in the near future, just because lack of inventory, right? Inventory is very low. Buyers still, I heard just a little bit ago, homes are selling in 2 days over asking price. That's what happened 2 years ago. And we're seeing that again, just because the high buyer demand and low inventory. But the fear of losing capital is keeping people renting. And I understand that. It's kind of like buying stock. I want to buy Enron stock because it's a great stock. Well, what happened 1 week later? Enron crashed, right? And Enron is no more. So people are afraid of losing that capital. So listen, there's a lot of reasons to continue renting, right? Check out the videos I did on, and in fact, I'll put a link to it at the very end of this video, on what are the benefits of owning a home. There are benefits and why the state and the county wants people to own homes. But there are reasons and benefits to renting. So I just did a quick calculation. If, let's say, a family can afford $2,400 a month towards housing. Well, if you take out insurance, take out taxes, that leaves about $2,100 a month for principal and interest. And so you can take a loan for around $310,000, $315,000. That's based on a 7% interest. So just keep that in mind. If you say, listen, I'm paying $2,500 a month now to rent, well, if you have money set aside and can afford the down payment and closing costs, then you can get a house around $310,000, $315,000. Now, chances are it may not be a single family home. It could be a townhome or a condo. But there are options out there. Anyway, I'm interested in your thoughts. What are some of the reasons you're renting? Leave comments below. Check out my website, joebrownc21.com. Leave me comments. You can read some of my blogs. And listen, I love sharing this information with you. I want you to be an informed consumer. And I want you to view me as your trusted real estate agent. Okay? Take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.